In the ancient city of Thebes, Alcmena, a mortal woman, found herself blessed with the love of Zeus, the king of the gods. This divine union resulted in the birth of a child of extraordinary strength and potential, Hercules. Despite his mortal upbringing, Hercules grew into a young man whose prowess and valor surpassed that of any other. He married and had children, but his normal life was taken away by Hera, Zeus's wife, who despised Hercules. She sent madness upon Hercules, making him slay his own family. Upon regaining consciousness, Hercules deeply regretted his actions and wanted to atone for his sins. The weight of destiny hung heavily over Hercules, and the journey towards redemption began. He traveled to the Oracle of Delphi, where he received his fate. He had to serve Eurystheus, king of Mycenae, and complete a series of impossible feats. And so the stage was set for Hercules to embark on a series of trials that would become known as the 12 Labors. With the oracle's decree echoing in his ears, Hercules set forth on his first labor, to slay the Nemian lion, a divine beast, and bring back its skin, which was impenetrable by mortal weapons. The journey took Hercules through dense forests, treacherous mountain paths, and desolate landscapes. Arriving at the sacred land of Nemea, Hercules tracked the elusive lion, guided by the roars that echoed through the ancient woods. The air crackled with tension as he ventured deeper into the lion's lair, determined to fulfill his divine mandate and prove himself worthy of redemption. The Nemian lion, a creature of divine origin and unmatched ferocity, emerged from the shadows with eyes ablaze and a roar that shook the very foundations of the earth. Its hide presented Hercules with a formidable challenge. Undeterred, Hercules engaged the beast in a battle that would become immortalized in tales of myth and legend. The clash between man and mythical beast echoed through the valleys of Nemea. Hercules grappled with the lion's strength, dodging its razor-sharp claws and snapping jaws. In a display of raw power, Hercules strangled the divine beast, deeming himself victorious. Having successfully subdued the Nemian lion, Hercules faced a new challenge, extracting the impenetrable hide. The divine lion's skin proved resistant even to Hercules' legendary strength, requiring him to employ his cunning. With determination and ingenuity, Hercules used the lion's own razor-sharp claws to peel away the impervious hide. Once the formidable task was accomplished, Hercules fashioned a set of majestic armor from the Nemian lion's impenetrable hide. With the Nemian lion's hide as both a trophy and armor, Hercules embarked on his journey back to Mycenae, ready to present the first labor to King Eurystheus and demonstrate that he was indeed capable of overcoming the impossible. From the daunting triumph over the Nemian lion, Hercules embarked on his second labor, the dreaded encounter with the Lernaean Hydra. The Hydra, a venomous serpent with multiple heads, awaited Hercules in the swampy marshes of Lerna. Its hissing echoed through the air as Hercules approached, ready to confront the next formidable challenge. The creature, with its poisonous breath and thrashing heads, emerged from the murky depths, its malevolence evident in the sinister gleam of its eyes. To Hercules' dismay, he soon discovered the Hydra's relentless ability to regenerate heads. For every head severed, two grew in its place, a supernatural trait that added an unparalleled layer of complexity to the battle. As Hercules swung his mighty weapon, each successful strike was met with the disheartening sight of new heads sprouting forth. Undeterred by the Hydra's seemingly infinite heads, Hercules grappled with the serpent in a fierce and unyielding struggle. Recognizing the futility of a direct assault, Hercules devised a brilliant strategy to conquer the Hydra. With the assistance of his squire Iolaus, Hercules employed a twofold plan. As he engaged the Hydra in combat, Iolaus cauterized the neck stumps with fire, preventing the regrowth of heads. The clever tactic proved successful, and Hercules systematically defeated the Hydra, preventing its heads from multiplying endlessly. Triumphant, yet again, Hercules emerged from the marshlands, the Hydra's defeated carcass left behind as a testament to his victory. As he embarked on his journey back to Mycenae, the hero contemplated the ever-increasing challenges that lay ahead in his quest to complete the 12 labors. Hercules, undeterred by the arduous trials he had faced, set forth on his third labor, the capture of the Ceryneian hind, a majestic creature sacred to Artemis, the goddess of the hunt. This golden-horned hind, a symbol of swiftness and grace, could outrun an arrow, and capturing it posed a unique challenge for the mighty hero. As Hercules entered the serene woodlands dedicated to the goddess, the ethereal presence of Artemis lingered in the air. The Ceryneian hind, aware of its impending capture, moved with an elusive grace that matched the goddess's divine essence. The pursuit of the Ceryneian hind led Hercules through dense forests, swift-flowing rivers, and towering mountains. Despite its graceful appearance, the hind proved to be a master of evasion, effortlessly navigating the challenging terrains. The pursuit unfolded like a dance between predator and prey as Hercules tirelessly chased the elusive creature for an entire year. The hind's golden hooves left a trail that wove through the wilderness, challenging Hercules to display not only his strength, but also his agility and endurance. As the chase unfolded, Hercules grew to appreciate the hind's beauty and the grace with which it moved through the sacred groves. He recognized the creature as a symbol of Artemis's divine realm and harbored a newfound respect for the goddess and her sacred companion. In a testament to his compassion and reverence for the divine, Hercules eventually cornered the hind, gently capturing the creature without causing harm. With a silent prayer to Artemis, Hercules acknowledged the sacred bond between goddess and beast, understanding the importance of preserving the harmony of the natural world. As Hercules prepared to return the Ceryneian hind to King Eurystheus, he carried with him not only the physical embodiment of his labor, but also a newfound appreciation for the intricate tapestry of divine providence that governed the world of gods and mortals alike. Hercules, undeterred by his previous challenges, embarked on the next labor set before him, the capture of the Erymanthian boar. This fearsome creature, with tusks that could rend stone and a temperament as wild as the mountain it called home, awaited Hercules on the slopes of Mount Erymanthos. Navigating through dense forests and rugged terrain, Hercules faced the biting cold winds and treacherous paths that led him to the lair of the Erymanthian boar. As Hercules approached the lair of the Erymanthian boar, the very air seemed charged with tension. The monstrous boar, enraged by the intrusion, charged at the hero with unbridled fury. The clash that ensued was a spectacle of brute force and primal power. Hercules, with his unmatched strength and reflexes, grappled with the ferocious boar. The earth beneath them trembled as the struggle unfolded, a testament to the intensity of the confrontation. Yet Hercules, drawing upon his experience and resilience, managed to subdue the boar, ensuring its compliance without causing unnecessary harm. With the Erymanthian boar now under his control, Hercules began the journey back to Mycenae. The triumphant hero carried the spoils of his conquest straight to King Eurystheus and prepared for his next labor. The next labor tasked Hercules with an immense challenge: the cleaning of the Augean stables. The stables, home to thousands of cattle owned by King Augeas, had not been cleansed for years, accumulating an unimaginable amount of filth. Undeterred by the magnitude of the labor, Hercules approached the Augean stables with determination. Hercules exuded such confidence that he dared to strike a deal with King Augeas, proposing to undertake the task in a single day in exchange for 1/10 of the king's cattle. King Augeas underestimated Hercules and willingly agreed. Understanding the impossibility of the task with conventional means, Hercules devised a brilliant and unconventional plan. Instead of laboriously scooping out the accumulated filth, he used his exceptional intellect to dig deep canals that connected the nearby rivers Alpheus and Peneus directly to the stables. The rushing waters, with their cleansing force, swept away the years of accumulated waste, leaving the stables cleansed in a mere day. The Augean stables, once a symbol of neglect and decay, now stood as a testament to the hero's ability to confront and conquer tasks that tested both his brawn and brain. The next labor assigned to Hercules led him to the marshes surrounding Lake Stymphalia, a place infested with the man-eating Stymphalian birds. These gigantic birds, with sharp beaks and metallic feathers that could be hurled like deadly arrows, terrorized the land, posing a threat to both man and beast. Hercules, with his indomitable spirit, embarked on the journey to a swamp in Stymphalian. The air was thick with the foul scent of the marshlands as he ventured deeper into the territory of the monstrous birds. The distant echoes of their screeches served as an ominous prelude to the impending confrontation. Upon reaching the swamp's treacherous grounds, Hercules encountered an unforeseen obstacle. The loose and unstable terrain could not withstand his weight. Goddess Athena observed Hercules' struggle and intervened, gifting him crotalum, a type of rattle made by Hephaestus. Harnessing the power of this divine tool, Hercules unleashed its resonant tones into the air, sending the Stymphalian birds out of the trees. As the birds circled above, Hercules employed his unparalleled skills with the bow, skillfully aiming and unleashing a volley of arrows, each finding its mark with deadly accuracy. The survivors, few in number, hastily flew away, never to return to Stymphalian. Following the victorious conquest over the Stymphalian birds, Hercules received his next labor, to subdue the mighty Cretan bull that terrorized the inhabitants of Crete. The formidable creature, who fathered Minotaur, had turned hostile, wreaking havoc across the island. Undeterred by the challenges that lay ahead, Hercules set sail for the sun-drenched shores of Crete. The sea breeze carried the scent of salt and adventure as his ship sliced through the waves, bringing him ever closer to the task that awaited him on the storied island. Upon reaching Crete, Hercules encountered a populace gripped by fear, their lives overshadowed by the relentless rampage of the Cretan bull. The once thriving fields and villages now bore the scars of its destructive fury. Unfazed, Hercules tracked the bull through the rocky terrain and verdant valleys. The creature, driven by unchecked aggression, charged at anything in its path. Hercules, relying on his strength and agility, subdued the bull by the horns and returned to Mycenae to complete his seventh labor. As Hercules arrived at the court of King Eurystheus, the ruler eyed the massive bull with trepidation. The once ferocious beast now stood docile under Hercules' command. The people of Mycenae, witnessing the hero's ability to tame even the wildest of creatures, marveled at the might and prowess he wielded. This labor, like the ones preceding it, added to the growing legend of Hercules. The 12 labors, though arduous, showcased Hercules as a beacon of strength, resilience, and an indomitable will to overcome the impossible. The next labor entrusted to Hercules led him to the hostile land of Thrace, where the savage king Diomedes ruled over a herd of ferocious, flesh-eating horses. Upon arriving in Thrace, the air thick with foreboding, Hercules beheld the monstrous horses in their savage splendor. Their eyes gleamed with a hunger that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. However, before he could even approach the horses, he had to deal with the barbarous Bistones, who were ruled by Diomedes. Hercules slayed one man after the other, attracting the horses, who started feeding on the fallen men. With their stomachs full of human flesh, the horses calmed down, allowing Hercules to bind their mouths shut and present them to King Eurystheus. As the sun set on the horizon, casting its golden light upon the conquered realm, Hercules returned triumphantly to Mycenae. Each labor completed brought Hercules one step closer to redemption, his legend growing with every victory against the forces of darkness. Hercules' quest for redemption led him to the mythical land of the Amazons, home to the fierce warrior women ruled by Queen Hippolyta. His labor, to acquire the coveted belt of Hippolyta, a symbol of the queen's strength and authority. The journey took Hercules through the vicious Black Sea, and as soon as he stepped on the coast of the island, he faced the formidable Queen Hippolyta, a regal figure whose presence commanded respect. Understanding the delicate nature of his task, Hercules approached the negotiation table with diplomacy rather than brute force. Through diplomatic discourse, Hercules sought to convince Queen Hippolyta to willingly part with her belt, emphasizing that his quest was a divine mandate aimed at his redemption. Hercules' story of completed labors charmed Queen Hippolyta, who agreed to gift him her most prized possession. However, as fate would have it, the machinations of the gods intervened, sowing seeds of discord among the Amazons. Hera, ever resentful of Hercules, disguised herself as an Amazon warrior, and spread false rumors that Hercules intended to abduct Queen Hippolyta. The unintended conflict erupted into chaos, with Amazon warriors ambushing Hercules. In the tumult of the skirmish, Hercules, driven by the necessity of completing his labor, fought valiantly against them. Despite his reluctance to harm the women he sought to negotiate with, the situation had escalated beyond his control. Amidst the chaos, Hercules managed to seize the belt of Hippolyta, the unintended conflict leaving a bitter taste in his mouth. With the prized artifact in his possession, he retreated from the tumultuous land of the Amazons, contemplating the irony of how his quest for redemption often led to unintended conflicts. The belt of Hippolyta, now secured, marked another completed labor for Hercules. Yet the scars of unintended strife lingered, reminding him that the path to redemption was fraught with unforeseen challenges and divine interference. For his 10th labor, Hercules had to retrieve the prized red cattle from the three-bodied monster Geryon, inhabiting the island of Erythea, located at the very edge of the known world. During his voyage, Hercules was harassed by the scorching rays of the sun, which prompted him to draw his bow and aim straight above. Surprised by Hercules' bold spirit, sun god Helios intervened, gifting him the golden cup, which helped Hercules to traverse the sea. As Hercules approached the remote island, he faced the initial challenges that guarded the cattle. Orthrus, a fearsome two-headed dog, stood as the first line of defense. Hercules swiftly swung twice with his olive club, crushing both heads of the dog, leaving it lying lifeless. Before Hercules could move on, he was met by Erymanthian, the vigilant herdsman, who received the same fate as his dog. The final challenge awaited Hercules in the formidable form of Geryon, a monstrous being with 3 bodies united at the waist. As the hero confronted Geryon, a battle of epic proportions unfolded. Geryon's sheer size and strength posed a formidable challenge, but Hercules, undeterred, fought valiantly. Understanding that Geryon's strength is comparable to his own, Hercules retreated, drew his bow, and shot the giant right in the forehead, claiming yet another victory against the impossible. Hercules secured the prized cattle of Geryon, a testament to his indomitable spirit and unmatched prowess. With the cattle in his boat, he embarked on the journey back to Mycenae, where King Eurystheus awaited his return. The completion of this labor marked yet another triumph for Hercules, his legend growing with each heroic deed. As he presented the cattle of Geryon to King Eurystheus, Hercules stood as a symbol of courage, resilience, and the unyielding spirit of heroism. The 12 labors of Hercules brought him to a new quest, the pursuit of the mythical garden of the Hesperides, a place where golden apples, guarded by nymphs, flourished. Only knowing that the garden is located north at the very edge of the earth, he started sailing and encountered the old man of the sea Nereus and asked him for guidance. Nereus didn't want to reveal the secret location of the garden and began fleeing from Hercules' boat. The hero didn't budge and jumped into the water, chasing after nimble Nereus. After a long chase through the sea, Hercules grabbed Nereus and received the required information to continue his journey. As he arrived at the mythical garden of the Hesperides, he encountered Atlas, the titan condemned to bear the weight of the heavens upon his mighty shoulders. Approaching Atlas with respect, Hercules proposed a bargain. Knowing of Atlas's weariness, he suggested that he, Hercules, could temporarily shoulder the weight of the heavens, allowing Atlas to rest and fetch the golden apples for him. The Titan, eager for respite, agreed to the proposition. As Atlas retrieved the apples from the sacred tree, Hercules took on the colossal weight of the sky, standing strong beneath its unyielding pressure. Atlas came back with divine golden apples, but he did not want to return to his position and offered Hercules to bring the apples back to King Eurystheus himself. Hercules suspected that the Titan might trick him into holding the skies forever, but agreed with the offer. However, he asked Atlas to take on the weight of the skies for a second, so he could take off his armor and continue bearing the weight on his bare shoulders. As Atlas took on the weight back, Hercules quickly grabbed the divine fruit and rushed out of the garden. With the apples of the Hesperides in his possession, Hercules set forth on the return journey to Mycenae. The golden glow of the apples reflected not only divine radiance but also the resilience of a hero who had triumphed over mythical challenges and cunning adversaries. Hercules, undeterred by the harrowing challenges that lay ahead, embarked on his final labor, the capture of Cerberus, the monstrous three-headed hound guarding the gates of the underworld. The air grew heavy as Hercules descended into the dark abyss, guided by the dim glow that emanated from the realm of Hades. Navigating the shadowed passages of the underworld, Hercules confronted the spirits of the departed and faced the eerie silence that permeated the domain of the dead. The journey through the realm of Hades tested not only his physical prowess, but also his unwavering resolve to confront the darkest depths of existence. As Hercules reached the heart of the underworld, he stood before the imposing presence of Hades, the Lord of the Dead. With a determination that mirrored the strength of his legendary exploits, Hercules asked Hades to let him bring Cerberus to the realm of the living. Recognizing the divine purpose behind Hercules' request, Hades agreed to allow the hero to take Cerberus, but only under the condition that he would subdue the ferocious beast without resorting to lethal force. The agreement struck, and Hercules prepared to face the three-headed guardian and fulfill his final labor. With the permission of Hades secured, Hercules confronted the formidable Cerberus. The air in the underworld crackled with tension as the hero faced the monstrous hound, each of its three heads snarling with an otherworldly intensity. Drawing upon his strength, Hercules subdued Cerberus with an unyielding grip. The three-headed guardian, though fierce, succumbed to the hero's might without a drop of blood spilled. Having accomplished his final labor, Hercules ascended from the depths of the underworld, bringing Cerberus with him to the mortal realm. As he presented the fearsome hound to King Eurystheus, the ruler was terrified by the appearance of the mythical beast. He begged Hercules to bring Cerberus back to the underworld, promising that it would complete the 12 labors and his sins would finally be atoned for. Hercules embarked on his final step and entered the now familiar underworld to present Cerberus back to Hades, completing the 12 labors. Hercules, having faced gods, monsters, and the very depths of the underworld, stood as a living legend, his name echoing through eternity as a symbol of unparalleled strength, resilience, wisdom, and the triumph of the human spirit over the most formidable challenges.